Family, they say a man builds his own heaven. But what if the blueprint was traced from a hell? What if the nails that hold your peace were forged in a furnace of someone else's damnation? We anchor our lives to foundations we never thought to question. This is not a story about things that go bump in the night. It is a story about a covenant, a transferred curse, a sermon nailed into the very bones of a house waiting for a new congregation. Family, gather close. This is the Dread Codex. Our tale begins with a receipt for timber. My name is Daniel Harper. I now know that salvation has a grain, and damnation a knot in the wood. It started with a gift, a miracle, my brother called it. We were building the family home in West Virginia. My father's dream, bought with my desert wages. Then the lumber market crashed. We were stalled, exposed, praying. Caleb found the answer, reclaimed heart pine. From an old Boone County farmhouse torn down. A fortune's worth of timber for pennies. Aged. Solid. Blessed, we thought. We were wrong. We didn't buy wood. We bought a confession. The house went up like a prayer. My father sent photos. In one, a shadow in the attic window. A smudge, he said. But when I enlarged it, it had the posture of a child, watching. The homecoming feast was the first service. My father climbed to the attic for quiet. He saw them. 2 children, legs dangling over the edge. He shouted. They didn't move. Then the cold hand. She was behind him. A woman with arms too long and eyes like dry wells. Her voice was a layered whisper, dry as a corpse's mouth. We have always been here. You brought us the rest of the way home. She vanished. The children vanished. My father fell down the stairs. His ankles shattered like old china. Downstairs, my aunt found a little girl crying. She reached out. The girl looked up. Her face was smooth, blank, and around her neck, a dark, wet seam. We called Pastor Lowe, a man of granite faith. He walked in, paled, and whispered, "There is a congregation here, Daniel, but they are not praying." Caleb and I slept in the attic that night to claim it. At 2 a.m., we heard it. Thump, drag, thump, drag, up the stairs. The door handle turned, and she was there, sitting in the center of the floor, skin white as a cave fish. She wept a sound like a rusted pump. Her voice was a multi-directional whisper. Don't make us go back to the dark. We like the wood. It remembers the screaming. She pointed, not at us, at the main beam. My flashlight found them, carved into the grain as if with a fingernail over decades. Sarah, Micah, Hannah, Abel, Ruth, Grace, and the last, cut deepest, Lillian. The truth was in the county records. The Miller farmstead, 1972. Elias Miller, a farmer of crumbling faith. He believed his family, his wife Lillian, and their 6 children were infected, that their joy was a sin. One winter night, he decided to cleanse his house. The heart pine floors drank his sacrament. The house stood silent for 40 years. Then it was sold for scrap. We had bought the chapel. The boards were the altar. We tried to exorcise it. Pastor Lowe prayed. They sang hymns. The attic sang back. A discordant children's choir mimicking the tune. We sealed the attic. Drywall over the beams. By morning, the walls were damp, and the smell, wet iron and old sap. Caleb found the last piece. From an old man at a gas station near the Miller ruin. His voice was gravelly, that Elias, after he didn't stop preachin'. Held services in that attic for days. Just him and what he'd done. Called it keeping the sanctity, reckon he left more than stains. He left the sermon. That was it. We didn't have ghosts. We had a residual rite. A twisted worship service, trapped in the timber, replaying forever. A prayer of slaughter, echoing in the grain. We fled. The house stands empty. But the sermon found a way to travel. I live in Arizona now. A new house. Engineered lumber. Sterile. Last night the AC died. Not a failure. A cessation. And a smell pushed from the vents, honeysuckle, and beneath it, that tang. Then, from inside the sealed attic access panel, 3 knocks. A voice emerged, a low, blended fusion of my father's sternness, my brother's sob, and that woman's dryness. It was calm, absolute, and utterly terrifying. It said, "The family that prays together stays together, Daniel. We have your floor plan. We have your family tree. The sermon is never over." This is the story of Harper's Hollow. It is not a ghost story. It is the story of a liturgy that forgot how to end. A faith that curdled into a fossil, waiting for a new family to preside. The most profound evil does not rage. It ministers. It turns a home into a permanent parish for one unforgivable night. So listen. If you are tempted by the character of old wood, ask for its provenance. If the silence in your new house feels not empty but patient, if you hear in your attic not pests, but the soft shuffling rhythm of a congregation kneeling, flee. Some blessings are not gifts. They are carefully laid floorboards over hell. And some sermons demand a lifetime of attendance. If you have a story that haunts you, send it to the dread. Your truth becomes our tale. Your likes and comments keep these stories alive. Until next time, may your foundation be pure, and may your house be your own. Good night.